Hi everybody, and welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. My name is Tom Tompkins. I'm the host and the founder of Vehicle Visionary, and thanks to Red River Chevrolet here in Bossier City, Louisiana, today I'm going to introduce you to the 2019 Chevrolet Traverse. This is the 1LT trim package. I'm going to tell you what comes with that, and if you're looking for a solid mid-size SUV with seating for 7 people, good horsepower, it's easy and fun to drive, it'll get you wherever you need to go, this is what you need to consider. So let's get started with our tour of the 2019 Traverse 1LT. Starting out here on the front end, the 2019 Traverse has HID headlights, LED fog lights down here. It's a lot of nice chrome trim all over, good bright blinkers, not only in the front headlights, but also in the side view mirrors. That's going to be a nice convenience for you on the road, especially at night. Chrome grille, nice large Chevrolet logo. Let me show you what's under the hood and tell you a little bit more about that, because you might be surprised at how much horsepower this little V6 is putting out. Now, as I raise the hood that hides beneath it, the 310 horsepower, yes, I said that correctly, 310 horsepower, 3.6 liter V6 putting out 266 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to an automatic 9-speed transmission. That means when you're cruising around the city or you're out on the highway, when you need to pass somebody, when you need to jump out into traffic, if you're in a large city where it's not as easy to wait for a large gap, the horsepower in this front-wheel drive Traverse is going to let you get around with absolutely no problem. Now, at 310 horsepower, what's the gas mileage like? Well, it's 18 in the city and 27 on the highway. Those are really impressive numbers for 310 horsepower. Also, one of my absolute favorite features right here, the shocks that assist in raising the hood and holding it up. You don't have to worry about fumbling around for a stand to put into the hood. It's going to stay up all by itself, no problem at all. And moving on to the side of the 2019 Traverse, black trim all the way around on the lower portion. It covers the entire bottom side of the body all the way around. 18-inch rims come with this particular package. Heated, power, and fully adjustable mirrors. Do have the turn signal right here in the mirror that I mentioned earlier. You also have blind spot monitoring in both driver and passenger side mirrors as well, something I really like. And then one of my absolute favorite features, of course, you've got Traverse right here in chrome. One of my absolute favorite features is found right here on not only the front doors, but the rear doors as well. The feature that I'm talking about is this chrome button right here. You can lock the front and rear doors or unlock the front and rear doors. That's called passive entry. It's available not only on the front doors, but the rear passenger doors as well. And remember the days when you would go to get something out of the back seat and find out, oh man, I gotta open up the front door and hit the lock, unlock button, then I can open the door? No, not anymore. You have the same option right here. The door is locked right now. I can't open it. All I have to do is hit that button and the door opens right up. Love that feature. I would like to see more vehicles have this. Kudos to Chevrolet. Every single one of these GM vehicles that I've reviewed so far on Vehicle Visionary has had passive entry on the front and rear doors. I really like that. There's also a lot of chrome here, trim around the front and rear doors. You have tinted windows on the doors in the back and of course here in the rear. You also have rails up here so you can carry luggage or whatever you might want to. You can tie stuff down up there. That's a nice feature. Love the roof rails, just some additional storage. That's always nice. So what kind of storage do we have in the rear of the Traverse? Let's take a look and see. Here in the back seat of the Traverse, there may not seem to be a lot of space, but in the situation that you need to put something in that doesn't quite fit, not only can you lay down these very back seats, you can also lay down the middle seats, greatly increasing your cargo space. You also have a couple of tie downs here. You also have tie downs on the back of the seats, so if you need to tie something down, that's not going to be a problem. Tie downs on the back of these very back seats and the middle seats. There is a 12-volt charger right here. If you need to plug in something that's 12 volt, you can plug that in right there. Now, one important thing to note when you're going to lower these seats is you need to make sure to adjust the middle seats as far forward as you can. There is an adjustment lever underneath. It's not automatic, it's manual. Just pull up on that lever, move the seats up, and that way, when you pull back on the strap right here to let the headrest down, and then you're going to pull back again, and that's going to allow you to put both of these rear seats down, and you have greatly increased your cargo space. And now that we've closed the lift gate, you have LED tail lights, nice large tail lights, nice large reverse lights, not only on the rear, but they're molded into the side of the body, which, by the way, while I'm looking here, I didn't mention, you have no worries about finding a button to open the fuel door. All you're gonna do is push on that. It has capless fuel fill, which saves time. You don't have to worry about potentially getting gas on your hands. Nice feature there. Again, the black trim, the bumper here that has the sensors for backing up, that's helpful. You also have a camera for backing up. I'll show you more about that when we get into the interior review. And here we are in the back seat of the 7-passenger Traverse. And as you've seen, there's 3 more seats in the back. Everything has seat belts. Everybody has their own air conditioning vents. I like that feature a lot. You can control the air conditioning and the fan speed, everything you need to. Right here on the back of the console for the rear passengers, you have grab handles here. You have storage pockets on the doors, several, actually, couple of different storage areas there on the doors, and a cup holder as well. Power windows, chrome door handles, a lot of space back here. I actually had this set up for myself at 5'10" for where I was driving earlier, and I can pretty much stretch my legs as far as I possibly can. Very comfortable, and actually this seat is still moved a little bit forward from when I let the rear seats down to show you how to increase the storage in the Traverse. Let's move on to the front seat. Okay guys, here we are in the front seat of the Traverse. A lot of stuff here. This 1LT package is actually a really nice package. It doesn't come with leather seats, but that's okay. This is a very nice cloth. It's durable. The Traverse name is in the headrests on the driver and passenger seats in the front. Chrome door handles on the driver and passenger seat, or doors, I should say. Lock and unlock buttons. On the driver's side, you have the ability to either lock or unlock the windows depending on what you want your passengers to be able to do as far as rolling down and rolling back up their windows. You can adjust your side view mirrors right there and roll down all 4 windows as well. All the common stuff you would expect to see. A lot of storage here, and there's the button I mentioned earlier for adjusting and opening the lift gate from the driver's seat. You have the turn signal stalk and the ability to turn the brights on and off right there. You can pull it back to temporarily turn the brights on if you need them without actually leaving them on. On the right-hand side of the steering wheel is the lever for the windshield wipers and all of the functionality for the front windshield wipers and the rear windshield wipers. Of course, you have a tachometer, your fuel gauge, your temperature for the engine right there, the thermostat, and the speedometer, which of course you can use the speedometer on the right-hand side, or you can have a digital speedometer in the middle, which is what I currently have right now. On the steering wheel, you have on the left-hand side your settings for adaptive cruise control and cruise control. You also have the buttons and everything on the right-hand side of the steering wheel for going through all of the different settings on your dashboard. You can answer calls right there. You also have on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, there are buttons for the volume for the radio and for changing stations as well. And moving here into the middle, you've got a couple of cup holders, of course, the shifter, the parking brake right there, on and off on the left-hand side, right behind the steering wheel. Traction control on and off, and then snow mode on and off here via the dial on the right-hand side. And you have a very nice, large console, the center console. It has a little tray in the middle here that's removable. You don't have to leave that in, so if you want to take that out, you can do that, and a nice light. And here in the front, you have another 12-volt power outlet and a couple of USB ports as well. Now, as we move to the infotainment screen, let me just cover everything underneath as well. You can control the air conditioner either on the infotainment screen or the radio, or you can control both via the switches and buttons underneath as well. One thing I really like here, on the far right-hand side, when you push this button right here, the infotainment screen is going to raise up. There is actually an additional USB port inside there. There's a little bit of storage for whatever you might want to put in there as well. And so that's nice, and to let that back down, you just hold the button down for a couple of seconds, it's going to come back down. You can control everything from the infotainment screen. Okay, you're going to do that. You can swipe back and forth. You have the radio. The home button is right here underneath, so if you need to go back home, you can do that. You're going to see the temperature, which is surprisingly 88 degrees right now. I don't know if that's really right because I am parked in the shade. Clock right there on the right-hand side. And you have controls for everything from the radio, phone. You have OnStar. You can control the air conditioning. And we're going to turn that off. We don't want to call OnStar right now. And then you can go through all the different settings right here as well. And I mean, there is so much there. You can set the time and the date. You have so many different options. You can even go in and set up a mode for your teenager to drive this vehicle. It actually tones it down quite a bit, makes it less aggressive. 310 horsepower may not be a tremendous amount in this day and age, but it is still quite a bit of horsepower. So basically everything you could need is right here. And when you put your vehicle into reverse, of course, you're going to see the backup camera. Another great feature involves the lift gate. There is an LED light right there, so if you're unloading groceries at night or whatever you're doing, you'll have a little bit of light right there. But to open the lift gate, there's actually a button underneath on the bottom side of the outside of the lift gate itself. You can also use the key fob by hitting the button that shows the lift gate opening 2 times, and that will open it. But here's something I really like. On the bottom side of the driver's side door is a button, and you can turn it off, you can turn it on to 3/4 or full. And what that does is if it's set to 3/4 and you push that button, or you use the button on the lift gate or the key fob, the remote. Okay guys, we're heading out onto the road with the Traverse. And I'll tell you what, there's so many great features here. You have lane keep assist, lane departure alert, I think is what it's actually called. Of course, you have blind spot monitoring. You have cross traffic alert, which is part of the front and rear sensors that you have. So anytime there's cross traffic, it's going to let you know if you start to move forward. I like that a lot. And just kind of cruising along here, 310 horsepower gets this SUV down the road nicely. It is not a problem to get up to speed. Like I said earlier, if you live in a really large city where sometimes you have to just get on it and go because there's so much traffic that when you have a small opening, you have to go ahead and take advantage of it. Well, I tell you what, this is going to allow you to do that. The 9-speed transmission is very smooth in how it shifts, and so you're not going to be driving down the road really feeling the shifts. Now, I haven't really stepped on it too hard, but even just kind of just accelerating a little bit here, I still can't feel that. I mean, it is so smooth in the way it shifts, and it drives very well. It's very responsive. The steering wheel is very responsive, and we're going to get up here in just a little while into an area of this particular road where there's a lot of curves and everything. So we're going to find out how it handles in those particular areas. But just cruising down the road, this is very similar to an interstate right here, even though the speed isn't too terribly high. I think it's 55 miles an hour where I am right now. So not really necessarily highway speeds. But still, with what I'm doing right here, it's driving very well, very smooth. I have to say, I really am impressed with how this particular SUV rides and drives. A little bit of an acceleration test there. I can't do much because there's somebody in front of me, but I'll tell you what, the acceleration with the 310 horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque, absolutely no problem. So here we go. We're gonna go through these corners right here. Yeah, a little bit of wind, bends in the road. Not a lot, but I really don't have a place around here to really test that kind of thing out. So this is about as good as it's going to get. But here I am, I'm actually doing the speed limit through here, 55 miles an hour, and absolutely no problem going through the corners, going through the turns. Really didn't get any major body roll there. I mean, it's an SUV. It's got SUV-like qualities as far as the handling goes. But still, I must say, number one, for a front-wheel drive vehicle, front-wheel drive vehicles are nothing like they used to be. You can't really feel that it's front-wheel drive like you could at one point a long time ago. So let's just say you haven't bought a new vehicle in several years and you're used to front-wheel drive. You are not going to know that you're driving a front-wheel drive SUV when you hop in this Traverse. And like I say, it handles corners really well. The steering wheel, it's nice and comfortable, leather-wrapped steering wheel. Everything's easy to get to. I have to say, I would love to take this Traverse on a nice long road trip. I think it would be very comfortable and very enjoyable. Well, that ends yet another Vehicle Visionary episode. I would like to thank Red River Chevrolet and my friend Diane Walden, the Corvette lady, for the opportunity to review this 2019 Traverse. It has been a great experience, and I appreciate all of you for taking the time to watch. If you live in or around the Northwest Louisiana area, specifically Bossier City, kind of the Shreveport-Bossier area, check out redriverchevy.com if you're in the market for any Chevrolet vehicle. They have lots of Corvettes, lots of great vehicles like this Traverse, a large inventory of trucks, cars, everything you could imagine that GM is currently producing. It's here. Come and see Diane Walden, ask for the Corvette lady, and she will take great care of you. Thanks for taking the time to watch today, guys. I will see you next time on Vehicle Visionary.